Hi everyone, it's Christy. I'm going to show you a way that I am personalizing this Bible. It's a fairly new Bible. I just started working in it. About the only thing it has in it is some charts. I put one in for each book of the Bible. But I started to personalize it and thought, I should make a video with this. So I downloaded a whole but I've got an even bigger stack than this, but this is just a few I pulled out to work with for this video. Comics, some cartoons from the internet, and they're Bible comics. This one is Proverbs 26 verse 27. If you set a trap for others, you will get caught in it yourself. If you roll a boulder down on others, it will crush you instead. And if you're old enough to remember the old Wile E. Coyote cartoons, then that will make sense to you. So we're going to go through these one at a time. I had one here. Now, I think you can see that. What do you recommend for a 625th wedding anniversary? He's at the jeweler. Life in Old Testament times. And that's because in Genesis chapter 5, it talks about the descendants of Adam who lived like 807 years, 912 years, 840 years, 905 years. So when you live to be that old, you could possibly have a 625th wedding anniversary. So that's kind of funny. I think that might have been the only one. I think that was the only one I put in so far. Oh, and that's right. It had one on the back. I glued a smaller one on the back. It says, in Old Testament times, church bulletin board, if you are between the ages of 100 and 200 years old, come join our young adults group. So even 100 to 200 years old was considered young adults back then, when they lived to be that old. So those were just a couple of funny things, and I just thought it would kind of lighten things up and add some pops of color to put some of these in my Bible. I've got my thing of washi tape here. Secret to washi tape is, and other supplies, get a container. This is just a pencil case. You can get them inexpensive during back to school season. And tell yourself, I can only have this much washi tape. And then when you use it down enough, then you can buy some more. But that limits, so you're not just wildly buying. That's what I do. I limit myself to a fixed space. I can't have any more than what fits in that space. Helps keep spending from getting out of control. So I read you this one. Let's go ahead and just put this one in. Proverbs, what is it, 26? And there you go. If you set a trap for others, you will get caught in it yourself. If you roll a boulder down on others, it will crush you instead. And this is the NLT, New Living Translation. So I'm going to probably glue that in. Do I want it up higher or down lower? Actually, I'm going to put it like about there. All right, I forgot to grab my ruler. I like to use the ruler because then that gives me a place I can just stick the washi tape and it won't matter if it's on my Bible or not. I mean, I won't accidentally stick the washi tape to my Bible. So I just grabbed one. I grabbed one that I'm almost out of, so I'll work on using this one off. Grab my... Let's see. And then I like to put the ruler down in there and just kind of rub it back and forth, make sure it's stuck down completely. And as you can see, it just turns easily. And it gives me a little bit of note space on the back if I ever want to write notes. And then I'll probably come back later and highlight that verse, mark that verse, since it corresponds to this. Now, let's go back to Genesis. I have some funnies to add in Genesis here. I've got a few for Noah's Ark. Okay. So I have this one, loading the animals on Noah's Ark. We made it, Roy, we made it. Shh. They're dressed up as a unicorn, as a two-piece unicorn suit. And the other unicorn, the real unicorn, was tied up behind a bush. It says how unicorns became extinct, because two people dressed themselves up as a unicorn and tied up the other one. And this one is just Noah's dog saying, "Ark, ark, ark." Not that funny, but it's kind of cute. And then this one, passing time on the ark. Noah comes in and says, "God said no to playing whack-a-mole." They got all the moles jumping out of the thing. Anyway, let's tape these in. What do I want to use? I'll keep using this one, I think. That matches. I'm sorry, you can hear my air conditioning running, but it's been triple-digit temperatures here. A lot of times I will turn it off before I record a video so that it doesn't run. But it's triple-digit temperatures here, so you'll just have to forgive it. I'm not into suffering quite that much. Okay, I can see I went crooked with that, so I'm going to try to reposition this again. If I... Uh-oh. Well, let's see here. Pulled off a little bit of the paper there. Washi tape doesn't usually do that, but apparently this particular one is very sticky. Let's try to apply this in a straight line this time. Alright, I'm happier with that. That's not perfect, but it'll do. And then just because I have this other one, I'll put it on the next page because it's still for several chapters talking about the floodwater receding and so forth. And this has to do with them killing time on the ark, so that works. You'll notice when I cut these out, I printed them off my printer, and when I cut them out, I left a little bit of a white space that I could use to put the washi tape on. That avoids, covering up any writing that might be close to the edge, for instance. Let's put this one up taller, up higher. All right. Here's a couple done. Genesis 37. Joseph and his goat of many colors. I love puns. Plays on when you have a play on words like that. Instead of a coat of many colors, he has a goat of many colors. So that is, I jotted the references down to some of these. That's Genesis 37:3. Come on. There we go. It says, Jacob loved Joseph more than any of his other children because Joseph had been born to him in his old age. So one day, Jacob had a special gift made for Joseph, a beautiful robe. Other translations said, render it as a coat of many colors. Trying to think if I want to use a different color. I'll just work on finishing this one off. Now, some people, you may have seen this technique, some people will take their ruler and fold it back and stick it down like that, but then that gets you a double layer of washi tape in the binding, and I think that just adds extra bulk to your binding. And so I just use it straight up method. There we go. Alright, what do we have next? Okay, I've got several here about the Exodus. So we'll come over here. This one actually goes with Exodus 5, but I was contemplating putting it at the beginning. Okay, this one says, let my people go, and in the finer print it says, tell you what, have your people call my people and we'll try to set something up. That's Moses negotiating with Pharaoh. Okay, how do I want to do this one? You know, you can do things like this where I tape it at the top. I'm just contemplating whether I want to do that. I typically don't really like to have things that I have to flip out of the way. I'm not 100% opposed to it, but it's just not my first choice. I don't like to have to move a bunch of stuff out of the way, usually. I'm trying to decide. I think I might use a thinner piece of washi for this one. Since this is just a small... Yep. Come on, Christy, grab that washi. I could even, well, it's even that, it's kind of, I could stick it to the outside margin, but I think I'll just do this. There you go. This Bible has very tiny margins, like barely even enough room to stick down a piece of washi, so that's another reason why I tend to put things in the middle here, I think. Okay. Exodus 14 is up next. Okay. Where do I want to put this? Here or the next page? Because the next page is actually where they're parting through, escaping through the Red Sea. Let me just scan the verses here a minute. Okay, I think I do want it on this side. I should read it to you. Moses is standing there holding his rod up, and some guy says, "Make sure you stop for a second, Moses, and realize just how wildly cool this is." There you go. All right. This one, the text is really close to the edge on that. I think I'm going to do another one with the thin tape. And I'm going to start it just right up here. First of all, so I didn't put washi the full length of that because I didn't want it to cover the text at the top and bottom. I should tell you that I know I'm going to get questions about where did I get these. Just do a Google image search and type in Bible comics or Bible humor, and you'll start seeing comics like these. And then as you start to see some, you'll find like, okay, this one is reverendfun.com. And so then you can search on that one and find other comics by the same artist and so forth. So that's all there is to it. Just a simple Google search. Alright, there you go. Okay, this if I would have moved that one up just a tad, I should have thought of this in advance. There. It's a nice thing about washi tape, it's pretty forgiving if you need to reapply it. Because if I move that one up, then I have room to put this one down below it. And this one is also crossing the Red Sea. Stupid sea, I can't text down here. At least Egypt got good reception. And as usual, they're complaining all the way on the way out of Egypt, all the way to the promised land. So, okay. This one has a wider area for me to tape, so that's good. There we go. Almost done. I've got 3 more. I think we can do 3 more, don't you? Exodus 16, just the next page over. This is a manna joke. There's a bird flying over, and I don't know, I guess that's supposed to be Moses or someone. He says, that one wasn't manna. The one the bird dropped. What? That one wasn't manna. Okay. Okay, ran out on that one. It's going to be a short piece, so I'll save that. I'm going to set that aside and use that on one of my smaller ones. But I do have this one. So See, I'm working on using up some of these ones that are almost gone. Because if I empty out some of these, then I can have space in my thing to buy some new ones, right? Having limited space for a specific item forces you to use what you have before you go buy more. I get these all over the place. This one came from the dollar store. Some of them I ordered online. Some of them a couple of them I got at Hobby Lobby. So, wherever I see them. And I'm not hog wild. I mean, I just don't go crazy with them like some people do. Okay. There we go. Manna and quail from heaven, chapter 16, Exodus 16. Okay, and then we'll go. I wrote down Exodus 25 verses 8 and 9 for this one. Verses 8 and 9, okay. It's talking about building the tabernacle as the holy sanctuary for the Lord, and God's giving them the blueprint, basically, for how to build it. And so, if Moses had to deal with a building committee, they'd be saying, where's the steeple? What about permits? Our people have no jobs. How will we finance it? If there's no pipe organ, my family can't support it. More parking. What color is the carpet? What do you mean, no bronze plaques? All the different things people might be saying back then about building the tabernacle. Okay, this one, since this was a shorter piece, off the end, let me just go ahead and cut the dangly bit off. You know what? I'm a little bit thinking that I might want to use, where did I put it? This one, this narrower one. Because this is just a shorty, so it only needs a little narrow piece. And there's kind of some writing close to the edge. See, I didn't want to get where it overlapped too much onto that writing right there. So that's why I changed my mind at the last minute. Okay. What did I say? Verses 8 and 9, so we'll put it down here. And I tried to go back and forth on whether I put them the top or the middle or the bottom, just so it doesn't bulk up all at the bottom if I were to line them all up at the bottom. And we'll do one more. I know this is a little bit longer than I normally do. Okay, this one is Moses' mom. Remember to look both ways before crossing the desert. And I was just going to put this at the beginning of Numbers. Okay, I've got a chart here. Did I write down the wrong place? Well, I'm going to double check where I want to place that. So we're going to call this good for now. I want to make sure I put that one in at a place that's... There's not a specific verse that would go with, but I'm not positive that this is where I want it. So let me kind of double check on that. And I appreciate you spending a few minutes with me. Thank you for watching all the way to the end. I know this was longer than usual, but God bless you. And I will see you in the next video. Bye.